Now, NADH coenzyme 1 is for layman people the biological form of hydrogen, and this tells you the story because hydrogen reacts with oxygen and makes energy. And for the expert, it's nicotinamide adenine dinucleotide coenzyme 1, the reduced form of coenzyme 1. And we do have it in our body, the highest concentration in the heart, because the heart needs the most energy, and also the brain has a lot of NADH. And you may know that 1/3 of all the energy we produce in our body is used up by our brain. However, some people use much less than that. Anyhow, we do produce NADH in our body if we take up nutrients, and you can see it goes by a pyruvate in the TCA cycle, and there NADH is built, it's produced. And there is quite a lot of NADH produced in our body. Now, NADH catalyzes more than 1,000 biological reactions in our body, but I will give you only the 6 most important ones. The first one is NADH is the fuel of cellular energy production. The second is it can repair DNA, not only DNA but also cells. And it is an antioxidant, and it boosts the immune system. It stimulates dopamine and adrenaline production, and the most recent finding, it stimulates nitric oxide production. So NADH might be a biological Viagra. But the central question is, can we increase the energy in a cell? And the answer is yes, we can, by NADH. But you may ask, show me the scientific evidence. Now what we did at the University of Graz, we took isolated vital heart cells and incubate them with NADH. You can see they are still contracting. According to the dogma of biochemistry, nothing should happen, because if you read biochemistry textbook, NADH does not penetrate the cell. And as with many dogmas, the probability of being wrong is very high. I recall the Catholic Church insisted that the sun turns around the earth. Now, what we can see, if you incubate them, you get 30% more ATP in the cell. And what is the consequence? The consequence is that the heart cells live much longer. 50% of the heart cells are still alive after 6 hours, whereas the cells without NADH die off after 6 hours. And the consequences is very helpful for heart people, heart insufficiency. We did a study at the University of Kiev in the Ukraine. 2 weeks after 40 milligrams of NADH, the heart capacity from 30% goes up to 60-65% in 2 weeks. Now, this is what I keep showing my student and patient. This is actually, sorry. Yeah. This is a cell, usually a cancer cell, because a cancer cell has much less mitochondria than a healthy individual cell. And if you add NADH, the cancer cell gets more energy. It can produce more components which are essential for cell regulation. So the more NADH a cell, the better it's regulated. And I can foresee, David, if you use NADH for your cells, you may stimulate Gcmaf by adding NADH. You should try it, you know. Anyhow, we will. It boosts the immune system. Macrophages are responsible for direct elimination of bacteria, viruses, and altered cell damage. They take them up, they degrade them, and the first step in this procedure is the perturbation of the cell membrane of the phagocytic, of the macrophage. Now, as a consequence, the high metabolic activity is increased, including oxygen consumption. And most of the oxygen is converted to hydroperoxide and to superperoxide. And this is the phenomenon known as metabolic burst. And in this metabolic burst, the macrophages use up a lot of NADH. And as a logic consequence, the more NADH you have, the better the immune system works. So we tried NADH for cancer cells. Actually, we published that. We have seen that if you incubate, peripheral human leukocytes, you get an increase in the interleukin production and in the activity of the macrophages. Now, I want to show you shortly what it does on cancer. In all these three reactions, NADH plays a role. In DNA repair, as an antioxidant, as an anti-promoter, and in increasing cellular energy. So therefore we were studying using it since September 11, we were using it, and I want to show you one cancer patient. He showed up in my laboratory, in my office, 2 weeks after September 11 with a lung cancer, 8 centimeters in diameter, and radiotherapy, chemotherapy, all what is good or bad, and no reduction of tumor mass. So I recommended him 40 milligrams of NADH and vitamin C and selenium. In January, after 4 months, the tumor shrank to 1.5 centimeters, and in July, the tumor was gone, no evidence of tumor. And he just called me, I think in March, and he says he's fine. And he writes me every Christmas, he writes me a nice Christmas card. This is so rewarding, I can tell you. If you can see that the patient has been cured with NADH or with his personality or with the help of Allah, doesn't matter, he's cured. And in the meantime, we have a number of other patients treated. Mammary carcinoma, 3 patients, 1 is tumor regression, 2 are tumor-free. Lung cancer, 7 patients. I just had recently a patient, beginning of November, 5 centimeter tumor. After 4 weeks of 80 milligrams NADH, the tumor disappeared completely, without chemo, without irradiation. Gastric cancer, ovarian cancer, bladder cancer, prostate cancer, 70 prostate cancer, without surgery, without chemo, without radiotherapy, and 7 of them are tumor-free. Non-Hodgkin lymphoma, this is the most devastating lymphoma, and the prognosis is rather, infast, but 2 of them are tumor-free for the last 3 years. I was asked to write an article about the prevention and therapy with NADH, and this is the product I've been using. NADH is a very sensitive substance. It degrades if you put it on the sun or water, etc. And for this stabilization and make NADH bioavailable, I received worldwide patents, and this is the product I'm using for my patient. And this is a book I have published on NADH, the biological hydrogen, the secret of our life energy. And if you want to have a complimentary copy of that book, you just give me your business card and I will ship it over to you wherever you are. And that's it. Thank you for attending. By the way, this is my email address and my website.